everyone! Welcome back to integralcalc.com. Today we're going to be doing another example about how to find the graph of a circle given the equation of the circle. So the equation that we're given is x squared plus y squared plus 6y equals 0. And in order to sketch the graph of this equation, the first thing that what we're going to be looking for is the center of the circle and the radius of the circle. If we have those two pieces of information, we can draw the circle. So in order to find them, the first thing we'll need to do is complete the square in terms of both x and y. And if completing the square isn't something you're comfortable with, please check out that section of my website, but for the purposes of this video, we'll kind of go through it a little bit quickly. So we'll want to complete the square in terms of x and y completely separately. So we're going to kind of isolate the variables from each other. Also, we need a squared term, so we have an x squared term and a y squared term. We need a squared term for both x and y, but we also need a first degree term. So this here is a first degree term of y because y is raised to the first power. We're going to need a first degree term for x. So what we'll do is say x squared plus 0x. Adding 0x doesn't change the equation at all. So we add 0x and we put parentheses around our x variables so that we can isolate them from the y variables. And then we'll say y squared plus 6y equals 0. So now we're going to complete the square in terms of x and then in terms of y, so separately. Now in order to complete the square, we're going to take the coefficient on the first degree term. In the case of x, that's 0. That's why we added in the 0x so we could do just this. And we're going to divide it by 2. So 0 divided by 2 gives us 0. And then in order to complete the square, we first divide by 2 and then we square our answer. So we're going to square the answer, and of course 0 squared is still just 0. So this might seem a little bit silly to go through this process of adding in 0x and doing this, but it'll make things easier in the end for us, I promise. So we'll keep this in mind for now, and let's move on to the y terms. So again, taking the coefficient on the first degree term, here's y to the 1, so we take the coefficient, which is 6, and we divide that by 2. So 6 divided by 2 gives us 3, and then we're going to square our answer. So, 3 squared, thinking ahead. 3 squared is equal to 9. So now we're going to take 0 and 9, and we're going to add those to both sides. So here's what that looks like. The 0 came from the x terms, so we'll add in 0 here. The 9 came from the y terms, so y squared plus 6y plus 9. And then we can't just add these to the left-hand side without any consequences. If we don't want to change the equation at a fundamental level, which we don't, we have to add them to both sides so that the equation is still valid and true. So we had 0 on the left side, or sorry, on the right side before. We have to add to that what we just added to the left side, which was 0 and 9. So we add those to both sides as well. Now, because we've completed the square for both x and y on the left-hand side, we can factor those like this. So x plus 0 squared will give us x squared plus 0x plus 0. And then y squared plus 6y plus 9 will factor into y plus 3 squared. And then on the right-hand side of the equation, 0 plus 0 plus 9 gives us 9. Now we've actually gotten to the point where we can grab everything we need to find both the center and the radius of this circle. So this term here and this term here will give us the x and y coordinates respectively of the center of our circle, and the square root of what's left on the right-hand side will give us our radius. So our center is actually going to be at 0, -3. And the reason it's -3 is because the formula that we use is more or less like this. X minus, we'll call it h squared plus y minus k squared equals the radius squared. So the center of our circle is hk. When the minus signs here are present, notice in our equation that we have plus signs. So because this here is plus 3 and the formula is minus k, in order to get plus 3, k has to be a negative 3 here. So the center is actually at 0, negative 3. If we had y minus 3, then our center would be at 0, 3. So there's our center, and then our radius is going to be the square root of the right-hand side. The square root of 9 is 3. So the radius of this circle is 3. So now let's go ahead and take a look at what the graph of this looks like and verify that the center is 0, negative 3, and the radius is 3. So if we look at the graph of our circle here, I've gone ahead and graphed it. You can see that the center is right here, and that is at the point 0, negative 3, which is what we said our center would be. And then you can see that if we go in any direction, a distance of 3, we'll get to the edge of our circle. We said that our radius was 3, which means that the distance all around from the center is going to be 3. You can see here that we're at 0 and we come out to 3. You can see here that we're at 3 and we come down here to negative 3 and we come down here to negative 6. So the distance all around is 3. So that's it. This is the graph of our circle. I hope that video helped you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!